But, like, what if we made a slasher movie about a caveman? Memorial Valley Massacre. Let's take a look at this cover real quick. As you can see, pretty dope on either side. It's not too bad. It's a pretty cool cover. I mentioned in my unboxing some smudges on mine, but like I really like how certain elements are glossy while everything else is a matte. I think it looks really nice. It's a great, just contrasty cover. If we go inside here, the alternate artwork is not too shabby. Still not. I'm gonna get into this, but it's not very representative of the film as a whole. But it's cool artwork nonetheless. I do kind of wish that the movie felt more like this cover, like what it's giving off, but whatever. Inside disc, obviously. Yeah, let's dig into that plot. Dolomite's own John Kerry and about 3 minutes of Cameron Mitchell star in Memorial Valley Massacre, a film with a lot of heart and maybe not quite enough money. One-off leading man Mark Mears stars as David Sangster, the son of Mitchell's industrialist asshole character who has come to Memorial Valley Campground to do some hard work and help the park open smoothly for Memorial Day celebrations. Celebrations which seem to predominantly attract people who don't appear quite like the camping crowd, but who am I to judge? Of course, it could be the fact that this campground appears to be super lame. You guys got enough space between your campsites there? And that's attracting those who aren't used to the idea.
Check you, Farley.
Whatever. It's camping. The campers, I guess. Look, some bikers.
Well, this should be interesting, with no running water.
I tell you, the lack of dihydrogen oxide is not going to affect this being in the least.
Charming.
Well, animals fall down wells all the time.
Ever known one to lift a 50-pound lid to do it?
Screw the dog. Is the water fit to drink?
Capitalism. I'm not exactly sure how the senior Sangster plans on making any real money on this development, but fuck it. Since when do rich people know how to spend their money anyway? As the story begins, we get a lot of dumbass tourists failing to adjust to nature, and a brief diatribe about shitting in the woods starts you off with a pretty good idea of the kind of movie we're gonna get. The agenda here is simply to have some light fun with humanity's incursions into nature while also delivering a campy slasher flick. Starring a caveman. As the plot develops, we learn more about George's potential connection to the caveman, watch various idiots get killed off, aggressive amounts of stock music, get treated to some quality time with the one and only William Smith as a former military general out for some R&R, and a lovely mix of uneven but enjoyable character moments that all lead to a less than shocking, but nonetheless memorable finale. One big takeaway from this film for me was just shock that Mark Mears was never in anything else. This guy just showed up in this one movie and then, as far as I can tell, disappeared. I'm sure that, there's a story behind that. Maybe he just wasn't in the acting game. Maybe he, was a theater actor, just got drafted into this. I don't know. I didn't really do any research for this, but he's a really solid, charismatic leading man. He looks great. I really had no issues with him as an actor or as a presence, and this is his one movie.
Well, you said that if I ever wanted a job on one of your projects, I could have it. I picked this one.
The only real issue is that despite his basically being the co-lead with John Kerry, he really doesn't get nearly enough to do as the story progresses, and seems to have been popped into the film to fulfill one singular purpose in the end. The film also moves along at a pretty good pace. It never really meanders at any points, but bland cinematography and a long wait for some good old-fashioned gore do weigh it down quite a bit. Now, it does pick up quite a bit in the third act, and you'd expect that with a slasher movie. That's generally when all the good shit happens. And no lie, there was a point about halfway through where I was like, there's not really a lot of kills in this movie. There's not a lot happening with this caveman. And then it gets real brutal real fast. I do have an issue with the lack of maliciousness on the caveman's part. As you can see on the cover here, he is it's scary caveman. And he's not really scary in the movie. He just seems kind of scared, and I don't know, he has this, maybe it's because it's obviously just some gymnast they got, who, by the way, has a great story behind him, but I'll let you learn about that in the special features. But, they just got this gymnast guy to play a caveman, and he doesn't really look physically right for the part. Like, he's muscular and all that, but I don't know. He looks like someone who's in a caveman Halloween costume, and between that and his lack of maliciousness in the kills, I don't know. It takes away from that slasher element a little bit. It makes it less scary. Even if you're not going to be actually like physically scared by a film like this, there is that element of horror that is just kind of missing because of how they portray the caveman and how he looks. But what he's not bad or anything. It's just I feel like they could have gone a little darker with the whole film as a whole. The kills themselves, once they get started, they're not bad. Some are really fun in a silly caveman-oriented kind of way, while others are fairly uninspired, and still others are pretty damn wild or just plain stupid. However, for every neck snap or lame stab, there's something cool like a punji pit or a dude running around on fire. There's one really stupid death where they kill off like 3 people at once, and it's so fucking stupid, but it was a good laugh nonetheless. They also predominantly take place during the day. What I'm getting at is that it's a bit of a grab bag, and your mileage may vary. Don't expect anything revelatory, but also don't worry that you won't get something resembling your money's worth. This is, in the end, a pretty fun ride, just with some serious flaws here and there. In the end, I can't say it's the most impactful movie you're going to watch over the course of just about any day, but it's a fun little slice of silliness that, you know what, I recommend.
Ooh, Tom, I like it when you take control like that.
Cut it out, Wendy.
Now, as far as extras go, we get a 13-minute interview with director Robert Hughes, who is predictably a pretty professional dude. He gives us a nice overview. He talks about getting Cameron Mitchell and William Smith for their name recognition. And he points out his cameo, which,
And you don't intend to close.
hunk alert. Then we get a 10-minute interview with John Kerry. He talks about getting into acting, working with Robert Hughes and Cameron Mitchell, perks of low-budget filmmaking. They both talk about, John Kerry getting to be a lead for once. Both the interviews are very charming. I enjoyed the interviews. I wish there was more to this disc. I really could have used, like a commentary. I feel like this would have been a great use of Hysteria Continues, but of course they are on the Grave Robbers disc, so I guess we can't get 2 Hysteria Continues commentaries in one bundle. That's asking a lot. But yeah, this is a pretty good release. Great cover. Good enough film. Again, I'm not going to overplay the film. It's definitely not for everyone. It's very silly. It's a little too light for its own good. But there is a nice contrast there with just how much murder happens. And there's a bear. So, if you're just really into bears in movies, if you liked Berserker because there's a fucking bear in it, this one has a bear. So, there's that. So, yeah, check it out. And check me out. Hey, segue on the social medias, I guess. And then the Patreon and the merch. I don't have my merch on, but the merch store. And till next time, make like a caveman and go watch a movie.